Hello and welcome back to 8-Bit Unboxing. So it's been about 3 months since I've done the last unboxing video, so I guess it's about time to take a look at all the stuff that you guys have sent me over the last few months. Now, keeping in mind, I've pretty much been turning down like 99% of all donations, mostly due to lack of space. But most of the stuff that you're going to see are things that I had agreed to take months and in some cases over a year ago. And some people are just kind of slow into actually getting things shipped off to me. So anyway, let's have a look. Here's the first box. This was received back in early July. So Brad Gills here has been waiting 3 months to see me open this surprise on screen. And by the way, these huge fragile stickers, don't bother with them. I think if anything, it makes shipping companies be even more rough with your package. That's interesting. It's a disc sleeve from Verbatim, back when they liked to call them mini disc. Alright, so this is an Indus GT floppy drive, a popular third-party drive for Atari 8-bit computers. And here's the disc that must have been in that sleeve. Anyway, this drive has been on my want list for a while, so it's cool I finally got one. Next up, we have a pretty large box here. This is from Brian Lawson. Okay, there's several things in here. First thing is this Atari Basic, and I already had one of these, but mine was a nice box version, and so it's always nice to have a spare so I don't have to keep taking the one from my boxed version. Now, this box is empty. I guess it was just being used as packing material. Okay, let's see what's inside the bubble wrap. Okay, so what we have here is a boxed Atari 600 computer, and this is something that was on my wanted list, so very cool. Let's take a look inside. Oh cool, it came with a little catalog of Atari 8-bit machines, including the mysterious 1450 XLD that I'll probably never be able to find. Okay, let's open the rest of this up. And here it is, the 600XL. This more or less completes my Atari 8-bit collection. The only real unfortunate thing about this computer is that it has no composite video outputs, just RF. So it might need a mod eventually. Okay, well, a big thanks to Brian. Moving on, we have a very oddly shaped box from CJ's Hobbies. I'm not even sure how to where to open this from. So eventually I got in there and found this, Letter and Bonus. I'll put that aside for the moment. And here we go. This is an original Color Computer 1, even the 4K version. Now I already had one of these, but mine had an aftermarket keyboard and a lot of other aftermarket mods. And I wanted one for my Coco documentary with the original chiclet keyboard. So I think this will clean up pretty easily. Alright, let's see what's in this bonus thing. Okay, first we have a note. This is interesting. My Tandy Radio Shack scrapbook, 1963 to 2000. I've never heard of this before, but it's pretty cool. There's a lot of history right here. And here we have an actual Radio Shack catalog from 1993. These were so cool. Granted, I'd rather have had one from the 80s, but I'll certainly take this. It's fascinating to see all of the things that are obsolete thanks to the smartphone. And look at this. In 1993, they were still selling brand new CGA monitors, along with VGA, of course. Looks like they were selling mostly 386 class machines at that point. Now I'll have to give up my whole weekend to read through this. Anyway, thank you, CJ. Next up, we have a little padded envelope from Nicholas Mystery. And he's from San Antonio, so only a few hours drive from here. Although, I gotta point out, my last name is Murray, not Miller. But that isn't the first time somebody made that mistake. Okay, it's a couple of cartridges for the IBM PC Junior, and there were only like 4 or 5 titles ever released on cartridge, and I already had one, so now I have 3. Cool. Thank you, Nicholas. Okay, so there's very little mystery as to what's probably in this box. The MT100 has been on my want list for a while. This is from Rafi Aziz, and I hope I said that right. And we have a little letter addressed to the 8-bit guy. ERRF, that was fun. I'm sure that must be some sort of event, but I'm not sure what it was. And we got a picture of some kitties. Well, they're very cute. And an iMac G3. And here's a note. Okay, it looks like the iMac G3 was a restoration project. And looks like there's a stuck slider on the MT100. Okay, good to know. Otherwise, this thing is in pristine condition. It's a little dusty, but I can clean that up, no problem. Well, I hope to do a review on this eventually. And yes, by the way, a lot of people keep asking me if I'm going to be doing more 8-Bit Keys episodes. And yes, I am. The main problem is I just agreed to do way too many conventions this year, and I had a lot of traveling to do during the summer. So I would get home from a convention and only have like 3 or 4 days to try to get a video put together, and then I'd be getting back on an airplane going to another convention somewhere else. And so it was just eating up a lot of my time, and 8-Bit Keys, I think, suffered far worse than my regular channel. Anyway, I only have 2 conventions left to go to this year. One of them coming up in a few weeks is the one in Portland, Oregon, which is probably one of the coolest conventions that I've gone to around the country. So maybe I'll see some of you guys there. Moving along, next up we have a little package from, I'm not sure, there's no name on it, but it says a computer accessory. Okay, so this is another donation from The Future Was 8-Bit, and let's see what we have here. Looks like a cartridge for the Sinclair Spectrum, and it has an SD card slot. So I think putting 2 and 2 together, I guess this allows you to put games on an SD card. I'm not sure what the 9-pin D-sub port is for. I'm not terribly knowledgeable on Spectrum machines. Well, I'll figure it out eventually. Very cool. Next up is a package from Augustin Chanot. Sounds French, so I hope I pronounced it right. Whatever it is, it apparently contains discs. Okay, it's the game Worms, which is odd because I already have this. Although the copy I have is for the Atari. Oh, I see. This is the Commodore 64 version. So I have both versions now, which is weird because this isn't exactly one of my favorite games. However, it is sort of special to me because this was the first commercial game I got for Christmas for my C64 when I was a kid, but I never figured out how to play it. Next up, we have a package from Craig M, and the customs label says it's a game. Okay. Aha! Donkey Kong Jr. for the Atari 2600. I did not have this. Very cool. Thank you, Craig. Okay, so this package has some interesting details on it. First of all, it's certified peanut free. Not that I'm worried about that. That's LGR that hates the peanuts. I love the 8-bit font on the shipping label. So this is from John Page. And according to customs, it looks like I'm getting 2 vintage computer parts. Oh, and it looks like it was shipped via Vogon Express, the most bureaucratic way possible. Here's a note. Okay, so first off is a Koala Pad for the Coco machines. It might work on the Tandy 1000 too, since they use the same game controller port. And here's an acoustic coupler modem. I'm sure my friend DJ is drooling since he loves modems so much. Anyway, thank you, John. Moving along, we have a very odd-shaped package from Kevin Williams. Okay, this is from Texelec. He has a lot of interesting products he makes and sells. Okay, I remember this conversation. So these are designed for the PC Junior, and these will convert all those proprietary ports on the back to allow for more standardized things like keyboard, video, joysticks, etc. Which, to this day, I'm amazed at IBM's decision to put bizarre connectors on the back there. Anyway, very cool. I will make use of these. Thank you, Kevin. Next up, we have a box here from Tim Wooten. Please find the enclosed box of floppies. Yeah, I can use these for Planet X too. Thank you, Tim. Next up is a big ol' box, and I believe this is actually from Michael Torino. And what we have here is a Compaq Portable 2. And these are some interesting designs for floppy drives. I'm not sure if this thing works. Let's try plugging it in. Okay, here goes nothing. And it's dead, so I'll have to repair it. But on the bright side, I now have a Portable 2 along with my Portable 1, which this video was taken before I started work on that one. And I also have a Portable 3, so I have the whole series now. I just hope it isn't as hard to repair as the first Portable. Also, he sent me these photos of his father using the computer back when it was new, so that's a cool piece of history there. Anyway, thank you very much, Michael. Next, we have a very crunched up box from Foster. See what I mean? The more you try to warn the shipping companies about something being fragile, the more likely it will be damaged. However, I must admit it appears this box is missing any meaningful packing material inside. Well, let's see what's in here. There appears to be a note from Travis. Looks like he also likes Tecmone LGR and V Westlife. Anyway, looks like a couple of Game Boy cartridges, which I already have. But what I don't have is an original Nintendo Game Boy. All I had was the Pocket, the Color, and the Advance, and so this will go nicely with my collection. In fact, I'll just stick some batteries in here right quick, and it appears to work. Excellent. Thank you, Travis. Next, we have a box from Josiah Augenstein. And there are no apples in this box, not even of the computer variety. So, what we have here, I bet most of you have never seen. And I've never seen one in person until this offer. In fact, this is the second offer I've had on one of these. The first one didn't work, and I didn't want another repair project. Anyway, this is a Hyperion. It has a very special place in history as the first ever IBM compatible computer. We often think it was the Compaq, but this actually came out a few months earlier. And the reason you never hear of these is because they were a commercial failure. I'm going to fire it up and see what happens. Okay, well, we have a blinking cursor. Let's try an MS-DOS boot disk. And it appears to be booting. Let's try Planet X3 on it. Very cool. Thank you, Benjamin. Next is a box here from James, although I recognize that MegaCat Studios logo there, so this is probably a game. Looks like something for the Sega Genesis, Little Medusa. Looking at the back of the box, it looks like some sort of down-facing tile-based game, maybe like Zelda or something. Okay, I'll have to pull the Genesis out later and check this out. Thank you, James. Next, I have a tiny package from Mr. and Mrs. Osborne from Australia. Okay, this is a GoTek adapter for a Tandy 1000. I may actually make use of this. Excellent, thank you. Okay, so this is the most bizarre looking package. I'm almost afraid to open it. It appears to be from Braden. Can't quite make out the last name there, possibly Ariston. I'm the guy that sent you the Speak and Spell. Okay. This actually ended up being one of the most annoying packages ever to open. I mean, it was wrapped in layer after layer, and since I wasn't sure what was inside, I didn't want to risk cutting too deeply. This took me almost 15 minutes to get it open. In the end, it ended up being an 8-track tape used for the 2XL robot, which I have one waiting for some repair work, so this will go well with that. Thank you, Braden. Next up is a package from Daniel Yeager. Okay, it's a book, Encephalon. I remember this. He had asked me some questions about old computers since they were going to play some sort of role in this story, and it looks like he has some pages marked with post-it notes to show me where he used that information. Yes, the Killer Poke, and that was from the Commodore PET, and sure enough, here it is in the book. Now, I believe this is a fictional novel, and somehow this was a plot device used in it. Well, maybe I'll bring it on my next plane trip and read it. Thank you, Daniel. So, this next package here is from the guys who make the Gigatron computer, which I did a video on a while back. And I had complained that there was no way to connect a keyboard or run BASIC or anything. And, well, what do you know? They developed a keyboard adapter, and here it is. Looks like I'll need to assemble it myself, and it will accept a PS2 keyboard. And also, here is a new ROM with some new software, including BASIC, from what I'm told. So, I'm looking forward to trying that out. And here's a note. Alright, this is cool. Next up is another box from Mike Torino, and I actually received this about 2 months after the other one. Yes, this is the user's manual for that Compaq Portable 2, and apparently he recently found it. That's cool. There's actually some good pictures and other information in here on how to work on it, and that will go great with the computer. Thanks again to Mike. And the last thing we have for the month is this shoebox from Oleg Skotnicki. Okay, the first thing I see here are some floppy disks, and these are WordStar, which is a word processing package, which I thought was only for CP/M. So let's see what's under the bubble wrap. It's another Indus GT drive for the Atari computers. Well, I guess that's what happens when I don't release these videos very often. It increases the chances of getting duplicates. However, this drive might have the CP/M add-on inside of it, which could possibly explain these WordStar disks. So I'll have to check up on that. If it is, that will be something cool to show. Anyway, thank you, Oleg. Also, a special mention for Tommy Tedford, who stopped off at my place and donated an Apple III system, which I forgot to take a picture of before I moved it to storage, but you'll be seeing it eventually. Alright, and that about wraps it up for this episode of 8-Bit Unboxing. You probably won't be seeing another 8-Bit Unboxing until January, because I'm just going to start doing these quarterly, so every 3 months. So stick around for that one, and thanks for watching.